and gentlemen, one more time, it's Women's Open. We've got a few minutes before we go live, and we have a raffle to draw, ladies and gentlemen. And we've raised £730 for the League of Scotland. So, I'll tell you what we'll do. That is a bit yeah. Well, you just want a pair of knickers, I'll pull them through. Well, there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Did you enjoy the singing? Did you enjoy the singing? We always try and do something a little different for you. Next year, Robin Daly's going to sing. He is. Right, so we go live at 1:45, ladies and gentlemen. You'll see the opening of the TV programme on the screens around the arena. It is 2 sets of 9 ends and a time break required. I'll just remind you that the players have 5 timeouts in a match of 60 seconds if they wish. And an automatic extra timeout goes into the try-out. Well, shall we say, time break. Hope we've all enjoyed everything so far. Had a really good afternoon, but please, 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 will you stay, eat, until the presentations made? Because generally, there's a lot of you in here, and if the audience up and disappear for their tea, it doesn't really help, and it's all going on. Sponsor for the Scottish International Open and the International Open. Let's say thank you as well to BBC Scotland, who do give your sport for Scotland a tremendous amount of airtime. We're about 1 minute, so I'm going to hand you over now to the BBC, Judy White-Pond, and everybody else. Thank you very much. Enjoy your afternoon.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to the Jewish Centre. Great to see you all here this afternoon. But why don't we say an emotional like the BBC Scotland? It's good to see you here because it's really good. The crowd are here. It makes it a fantastic occasion. The bowlers do their job. They're brilliant. You've seen them before. They've been amazing stuff. And you really play your part as well. So we want you to get as loud as you possibly can. When they're coming on, just go wild. They don't be throwing clothing out and that. But do whatever you like to have fun this afternoon. We're on here about, what were we, 45? I think 18 seconds, aren't we? So big thing. So we're basically, we're counting down to going live on BBC Scotland and enjoy it this afternoon. This Sunday becomes the loneliest job itself.
Hello and a very warm welcome to the final of the Cooperative Funeral Care Scottish International Open. It truly has been an incredible week. Great bowlers, great bowls here at the Jewish Centre in Perth. And we can't believe it, but it's Scotland against England for an unprecedented third time in a row.
If you look at the two previous finals, performances have been superb, to be honest. I won the first final 2 years ago. Quite convincingly.
He played really good and gave me a bit of a bullying really. Second time around, again he played pretty good. I managed to just hang on in and played 2 or 3 good ends at the back of the second set of the game and played a reasonably good tie break, which just got me over the line. So, I'm sure he'll be disappointed with his finish from last year and looking to put it right.
Obviously last year did hurt me. As I said before, I was in total control the whole match. I won the first set quite convincingly. And it's 6-2 up, 3 ends to go, and probably for the first time in my life I thought about the winning line, and you should never ever do that. We all know Nick is a class player, and he proved that the last 3 ends of the match to take it into tie-break, and he got it with his last ball in the tie-break 2-1, and probably at the end of the day deserved to win the match.
Paul's obviously world number 1, and he's played great, to be fair, so I'm hoping he drops his level a bit when we get going in the final, but yeah, he's playing good stuff. I'm going to have to go good to hang on to him again, really.
When you come to playing any tournament, I know within myself how good I can play, how good I am, and if I can take that performance onto the rink, then I know it's going to take a good player to beat me.
To be fair, over the last 2 or 3 seasons, my mindset is what will be will be. Probably got outplayed in the semi-final, but managed to sneak over the line. you know, and I've been outplayed before, and I've outplayed people and lost. I've just got to hope I can play well enough at the right time and give myself a chance come the end of the game.
It's going to be another hard game for myself, but at the end of the day I just worry about myself and not my opponent. If you start worrying about your opponent, you're not winning any matches. So just looking forward to today's game. I'm sure Nicky is, and if we both play how we can play, it should be a cracking final.
Defending champion Nicky Brett against four-time world champion Paul Foster. This should be absolutely sensational. David Corkill has been in the commentary box for us all week. Corky, two great players. This should be great, shouldn't it?
Absolutely, and I think the key to it, Dougie, is the fact that these two guys have played against each other the last 2 years. So there'll be nothing new in terms of the final, but it will be new in terms of tactics.
And we know that Paul Foster was very upset that he didn't lose it, that he didn't win it last year, of course, and that Nicky Brett could be the first man to retain the title here in Perth, and he's been playing so well this week.
Nicky's been playing exceptionally well this week, there's no doubt about that, and Paul has every right to feel disappointed after last year, because if a player's not disappointed when they lose, why bother? So the whole idea when you're number one in the world is to come back time and time again, and he is the best in the world.
And how intriguing and exciting is it for you that this is the third time in a row they've met in the final?
Well, I think what's happened is we've got the two best players of the week coming through the final. That doesn't always happen. And of course, you've got two of the best players. Nicky's a great conversion player, and Paul's probably the best with the first two balls to the jack.
Well, Corky, thanks very much indeed. He's going to go up to the commentary box now. But let's find out how these two great players got to this final in a great week in a city that's getting used to sporting drama.
Here's me. Oh, that's going to take free from McLean. Oh, that's it. That will surely win the cup for St Johnstone. Their first major trophy awaits them here.
Here in Perth, they know a thing or two about reaching cup finals. Local football club St Johnstone famously won the Scottish Cup for the first time earlier this year. Whilst downtown at the Dewars Centre, like any good road to the final, they started with some giant killing. Former champions Greg Harlow and Mervyn King were both knocked out in the first round, but perhaps the most seismic shock was five-time world champion Alex Marshall beaten by qualifier Duncan Christie. And Tatty wasn't happy.
Take nothing away from Duncan, he deserved his win, but that was terrible today, absolutely terrible. I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about the bowling green. That was absolutely diabolical, what we played on today.
In contrast, Jiver Christie was dancing with delight.
No, it don't mean a thing, all you gotta do is swing.
But the thing about cup runs is you can't beat experience. World champion Darren Burnett was a set and 4-0 down against Wayne Hogg in round 2, but he came back to win in extra time.
Hard to get back, that forehand just holds. It's gone. Handshake time.
Second end of the match to Darren Burnett.
And Andy Thompson was staring at defeat against Stuart Anderson and had one shot to save the game.
Off it goes. Needs a clean jack this time. Got it. Doesn't get much better than that when the match is against you. Andy Thompson all the way down.
But when the trophy's yours and you're cruising through the rounds, you'd expect the occasional full house.
Here it comes, easily taken. Didn't need to be close. Take the four, kick the balls away quick. Jason will not want to dwell on that one.
4 shots to Nicky Brett.
Into the last 8, and Brett was aiming for a replay.
Just coming down. It's good enough. It is.
4 shots to Nicky Brett.
The underdog having a good run was no minnow. Big Mac McLean had knocked out 2 former world champions, but couldn't make it past the third. And with Robert Paxton and Andy Thompson also making it through, we were guaranteed 2 knockout semi-finals.
Can he come in and draw off this hand? He's very close to it. Here he comes. Put a 2 in the book. Super stuff. If he's got the weight, he's close. Oh, he's got a chance. Here he comes. I tell you what, that was a courageous shot. He didn't even bother. That just shows you how confident Paul Foster is on his drawing ability.
For St Johnstone, winning the final was their greatest day. For one of our finalists, today will be a day to forget. For the other, history beckons.
Well, the bowler from Cambridge has been playing like a defending champion all week, but really had to battle hard to overcome season campaigner Andy Thompson in the semis. Brett isn't afraid to play with fire and spirit early in the end, and we could see plenty of that this afternoon against Paul Foster. World number one, multiple Commonwealth Games gold medalist, four-time world champion, the list goes on and on. Has played some extraordinary bowls this week on his way to the final. Foster has an uncanny ability to get his first two bowls nice and tight, putting his opponents under huge amounts of pressure. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see the bowlers then. Let's welcome them to the Dewar Centre in Perth. From Troon, four-time world champion and current world number one, Paul Foster. And playing Paul this afternoon, hailing from the city of Ely Club in Cambridgeshire, the current Scottish International Open champion, Nicky Brett. That's a very long walk this week, Nicky. Just come in the side there. We'll have a wee blether to you. I know you love this, but I know you want to get the game underway. But let's have a wee quick chat before we go. You've had such a great week here, Nicky, playing really well. The crowd have been responding very well to you. You obviously like coming here.
Yeah, it's a fantastic place. People have been great to me. I think I had dinner last night with two gents who didn't even have a clue who I was. And they were curling next door, and we had an hour conversation, and it was fabulous. They treated me like one of their own, so great.
Absolutely fantastic. And for yourself, Paul, you are the home guy. I know you're from Troon, but Perth, you're used to playing here. You're used to winning here as well. And you've been in front sparkling form this week as well.
Yeah, to be honest, the crowd have been great towards me, as they always do. Performance-wise, the first three games I played excellent. A wee kind of a stutter yesterday, but still played decent bowls and the right bowls at the right time to get me through to the final, and it should be a classic and one I'm looking forward to.
We are looking forward to it as well. First thing we have to do, though, is do the coin toss. Who's going to call it, Nicky?
Heads.
It's going to be heads, says Paul Foster. Oh, thank goodness it never went into the gutter there. It's tails. Paul called it wrong, so Nicky, your shout.
I think I'll bat.
You'll bat. So Nicky Brett goes into bat. Paul Foster, thank you very much indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, it should be sensational. Your finalists. It will be amazing. These guys are just the best in the business. It's Nicky Brett against Paul Foster, and Paul Mitchell and David Corkill will take you through this one.
Thank you, Dougie. Good afternoon, everyone. It's the third consecutive time these two have faced off in the final of the Scottish International Open. They've not disappointed in 2012 or 2013. We doubt they will disappoint again. And for those of you who like to keep note of these things, the player who's worn green in the last two finals has been successful. One apiece, Nicky Brett and Paul Foster. So Nicky Brett in red this afternoon gets us underway. Seeded 1 and 2, they were tipped to get here, David. They certainly did, and they've impressed all the way.
Well, both players that lost in the semi-finals also played exceptionally well. In particular, Andy Thompson, who was just outstanding. Robert Paxton really tested Paul Foster all the way.
Yeah, both these finalists mentioning that they felt that they played well, but also got a touch of fortune to get through.
Well, quite a chat with Nicky after his match and coming into this final. That's why I was saying, the tactics may be just slightly different. He's feeling that Paul is just playing so well at the moment. Given an end or two to get into the match, he'll start peppering the jack, and he's going to be quite aggressive. Which is exactly what he had to do against Andy Thompson when Andy started off so strong.
To red.
Steady start, full advantage to the Englishman.
Drawing down now. It's given that a chance. Paul Foster.
That's the adjuster. Looks good for number one. Nick. Early on the runner. Oh, it looks like it's slightly under unless he gets an edge.
Right, what's the two gaps, please?
Gap with your ball, 1/4 of an inch. Nick is 2.5.
Well, with 3-second shots, that was an attempt. Looks a wider line. And it will stay wide.
One shot to Paul Foster.
Sometimes there's no point in going in for things whenever you're sitting well. Take the single and run.
Well, with 3 against them, beautiful drawing shots. Both players favouring the backhand. Nice swinging hand back in. Here comes Nicky Brett. And cue more applause.
Yes, Nick will stay on that. I said if he feels at any time that he's starting to struggle. And again, he did that in the semi-final.
Just not got the finish on it.
One red.
This is trying very hard for the second. Well, just dropped off. I don't think it's made it though.
One red.
It's going to be hard to get round, so Paul Foster will have to move on to the forehand.
Not far away. Well, that drop back might give him it. Unusual to see a ball hit the front of a ball and then make its way round. It's usually on the edge.
It's a great effort. Brian Daly is our marker, and he favours the green ball.
Yeah, we hit that the first third of the ball, and Nick after it again. Looking to squeeze, ball on the jack. He's got the respot on one side. Oh, that's a horrible result. That is a dreadful result.
Well, he couldn't see that coming, and you can't blame him. Nothing worked for him there. Correct shot to play, played it with the right weight. But sometimes you don't get what you deserve, and this is harsh.
Oh, that's just horrible. Well, the jack must have been very slightly on the forehand side, and you can see Nicky's reaction. But to take everything out and leave 3 green, well, that's most unlucky.
Well, if there's one player in the world you don't want to help out, it's Paul Foster. That's a tidy lead already.
Yes, and he's been doing it with his last ball or two. That's the point, and he hasn't got his first 2 balls going, and once he gets those going, well, it just gets worse if you're playing against him. Favourite short length for Paul Foster.
You hold.
Just running inside, the red ball's a good shot. Round it comes and falls down. One in front, one behind. 2 good balls to open.
Here's the adjuster. Jack first. Got it. And to his own ball as well.
2 round.
Well, the one thing for sure, if you've been with us early in the week, is that nothing is allowed to stand for too long. Paul Foster just catching the wrong side of it, not by much.
I certainly expect the next one will be on target, but 2 good first balls by Paul, but Nicky, just that trail of the jack was perfection. He's probably thinking to himself, I need another one in here if those 2 balls disappear, but well, it's not bad out there. Don't think that got back anywhere near as much as he had hoped.
Both players with 1 to play. So whatever Paul Foster does, Nicky Brett has the chance to retrieve the situation. Controlled weight. He's keeping his eye on it too.
This will come down very quickly. Jack first. Got it. That's out, and he'll stay with it. That should be the shot on the respot. That's why he played it with controlled weight, in case he got the jack and not the balls. As soon as he got the jack, he was safe. He just didn't want to get the front edge of the ball. Well, in the end, he actually did got a slight touch of it, but he was always in the target area to get the jack.
I've no wish to jinx him, but he's been terrific to the respot this week. He's practiced it, he's executed it in games. This is a shot I think he will relish.
Typical Nicky, he's played the ball and his hand in the pocket, walking down the rink. And he's played it extremely well.
Yeah, Paul Foster applauded that before it was, what, halfway up? He knew it was spot on.
Yeah, players know, they've read the pace of the rink, and they know that. It's good stuff. Conversion shots, attacking shots early in the match, good draws.
Well, last year was a big year for Nicky Brett with his first World Bowls Tour singles title. He previously said that he didn't want to be one of the top 16 in the world without a singles win. Somebody who's always there or thereabouts but doesn't get over the line.
Oh, that's happened in the semi-final a few times as well. Just somebody having a cough just as the ball's about to be released. So reset yourself. Yes, it is difficult, Paul. There's no doubt about that. Everybody wants to win a major, and there are some players that have survived in the top 16 without ever doing that. And I'm sure it annoys them intensely.
Well, Nicky Brett is a great lesson in persistence. His first World Bowls Tour appearance back in 2000. 23 attempts at a singles event before the trophy was finally his. Paul Foster. I'll just curl around nicely. So well played again. Round he'll come. It's not a second, but it's in good position. And Nicky Brett immediately comes down, gets a little nick, takes the jack. I'd prefer that to stay in, but it's gone out. It'll go into the respot. Would have liked to have trailed it into the ditch. So Paul Foster will have 2 bowls at this, and Nicky Brett will have 1. There's the jack onto the respot. Doesn't matter who's lying at the moment.
Paul on the front inside edge, making sure he's able to push the ball out wide so it gets a very late draw. Great use of the mat. Making sure of the end result, being close. I think she's using a very slightly narrower bowl, but he's well out anyway. So that should be the perfect line. As we saw, Paul's just trucking over, but I don't think it's going to stop in time.
It was the weight that concerned him. You could see that. And he got the line.
Well, he knows he's going to probably lose a double here. He should lose a double.
Same again for Paul Foster.
Correction on the last ball, and he's all over it again.
2 shots to Paul Foster.
Well, as he did last year in the final. Out the gate quickly.
Well, generally, Paul Foster's not a slow burn player. Has a tendency to get out very, very quickly and get into his rhythm within the first few ends. Some players play themselves into matches. It takes them a little bit of time.
Well, there was a noise just coming from behind. So Paul Foster doing the right thing.
Yes, the shot clock doesn't commence on the first ball, so and irrespective anyway if it's an external thing that's causing problems, it's We just get it sorted very quickly. That's the problem whenever it's sort of deathly silence, whenever players are on the mat. It's very difficult. It's almost better to have constant noise and things going on around. Some players have indicated that they would quite like to try an event with music in the background, so that takes away that silence, just to see how it would go. It certainly would be different, no doubt about that.
One red.
Yes, musical tastes vary somewhat.
Nothing too extreme. So.
A different genre at every end?
It might be wise, yes.
Here comes Nicky Brett. Nicely done.
Bit of wet, wet, wet and Deacon Blue, I think, up here. Will go down well.
Or we could try and find some really good Scottish bands.
I'm glad you said that.
2.5 inches and it's 3 inches short of jack high.
Our resident drummer knows we don't mean it. So Paul Foster will take a time out here.
Yeah,
Paul has 4 timeouts remaining.
It's not great for him, just the way the bowls are sitting, that's the problem. Second shot's sufficiently far enough away that he can still draw this. He's got a big swinging ball, backhand will come around it.
Well, the second shot would have been good. First shot, even better.
Well, that's the whole point with Paul. You know, he comes down and looks at it, thinks, well, you know, the backhand's open. He makes the adjustment, and Nicky's after him on the runner. Any connection on this ball will move it. Got the wrong one. Wanted the front red one. But when you can draw like Paul Foster, you just don't worry about these things. You just get down and do it.
Now we'll just have a check to see what would happen if Nicky Brett hits it. He's had a look. Something behind.
Well, that's going to make it hard for Nicky, because if that jack moves all the way through, it's going to be one. So he's going again anyway.
Wants to get on his own, ideally. Punch things through.
All the way through to Paul's ball. Oh, don't believe it. I don't believe it hit the ball.
Well, I think that's still...
I don't know. Paul's looking at it and he's got a good eye, Paul. As we see this coming in again, I just thought, well, as soon as it was going through, it had to be one to green. Hits the green one, and now it's a measure. Ooh.
Well, he didn't get fortune when he dropped to 3 in the second. Gets good fortune there.
Yes, that was a bit more costly on that occasion. It's down to a turnover of a couple of shots here.
Okay.
But no guarantees on the measure.
Gaylord. Brian Daly at the jack, Dan Blewett at the ball.
Yep.
Oh, yes. It's going to be one to red.
Okay.
Well, it keeps him in touch.
One shot to Nicky Brett.
6-2, much more palatable than 7-1. And he's very quickly mat down, jack delivered. Little jog down from the marker, Brian Daly. Well, you could see there the jack was being centred by Brian Daly. Nicky Brett was already on the mat, ball in hand, ready to go. Likes to get into rhythm.
Well, these two guys are probably the fastest players around, and have adapted to the shot clock the best simply because they are so quick.
The players have 30 seconds in which to play their shot, starting from when the previous ball comes to a stop. But these guys could work off a 10-second shot clock most of the time. They're so fast. And he comes again. He's better. Down it comes.
Favourite two, yes.
It's a tempting target for Paul Foster, but he's been playing so well on the draw. Get out of bother. Stick him with the backhand. As soon as he gets past his own ball, he's going to be very close. That was the problem. He had to get past it. Well, Nick's labouring a little bit here, as he hasn't got the pace to make it. That's virtually, well, that's closed down that side. Really no point in Paul playing the backhand now.
Now, will it be the draw or will it be the little runner shot?
Yeah, might have. It's close for 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's the runner. It's a tempting target.
Is he giving it time to get down? Not quite. Interested to see if Nick plays the forehand here and just tries to turn that jack around the corner, take a shot away from Paul Foster. You wouldn't want to give him 2 goes at it.
No, one he might miss, 2 is unlikely. So sometimes you've got to be brave. You're conscious you don't want to make the target any bigger.
Oh, he's got lovely line here. Has he got the weight to carry it in? Well, he has. It's you could say he's widened the target, but just the way that jack's sitting, I wonder will it go back up the rink again? Because it looks to me that if he hits this absolutely straight, that jack's going to go back up off the back bowl. He'll score a double.
Oh, that's a thunderbolt.
Oh dear. Well, Paul's turned to get a really bad result.
Well, there's only 3 balls left on the rink. They all belong to Nicky Brett, and it's a 3.
3 shots to Nicky Brett.
Well, I thought when he hit that plant, he might have got something out of it because his own 2 balls were coming in. No, that plant, he was just inside it. If he'd have been on the other side, it would have taken one of the reds out. Split away in a very strange sort of angle. Just cost Paul 1 more. I'd not be too concerned, but still in front. But a good end for Nicky Brett.
The Englishman enjoying a good year, won the Scottish International Open. Won the World Indoor Pairs with clubmate Greg Harlow. Well, these guys are making this look easy. I can assure you it is anything but. Like most sports at the top level, when you watch it on television, you think, it doesn't look that hard. Anybody who's tried this knows exactly how hard it is. And to do that as well, fantastic.
Very deliberate shot by Nick there to try and get to the jack or the bowl. He had a twin target. And that's what's good about the top level players. They're always looking for the percentages. Best possible shot to play to give a good result.
One red. Last ball is 16 inches short of jack high.
Paul Forster. Just wondering if he's going to get round it or have to come inside it.
That's why he's playing with a little bit. Again, bowler jack. Oh, he's inside it, unless he's lucky. Oh, we thought he had missed it for a moment. I did say unless he was lucky.
Well, indeed. Well, both players trading on a little bit of fortune and misfortune in this set. But the thing, still a ball each to play. Oh, yeah, sometimes it happens. And
ooh, indeed, Paul. Yeah, that was way away from it.
Timeout called.
Timeout called.
Yeah, I think it's wise for Nick because when someone gets a fluke against you, you really want to put another one back in again. He's tempted to go for the bowl. It's not easy to beat it inside his zone. The only danger for doing that is if he was a little bit wide, he'd be taking his own out. Leave Paul an easy treble.
Trying to draw this one in.
It's the weight is the issue, I think. Yes, that started to come away very quickly.
Well, that's annoying for him because he's also left a chance now for Paul Forster to add. Not easy.
That's a decent chance. It really is for Paul. Oh, he's playing it mega safe. Going on the backhand to come across the head. Not too worried about his own ball in front. It's the one he has to negotiate past. If he gets past that, he's in with a chance because his ball will pull back very quickly. There you go, number one.
Well, if the previous ball was a fluke, that was just perfection.
2 shots to Paul Forster.
Well executed, and he'll take a 3-shot lead into the final 2 ends.
No, it's sublime when he does that. It's a safe shot, no doubt about that. But that's the advantage of playing with a big swinging ball. And although Nicky's got a big swinging ball as well, by the looks of it, I was just trying to check I know the manufacturer they'll be using, but I was just checking the model, and I think they're both using Tiger balls. And it's Paul Forster uses the outside Lamette a lot to give him even more bend. There you go, he's on the outside or in this case the outside Lamette on his backhand. It just allows the ball to bend back even more. Whereas Nick is on the other side of the mat. He's on the inside. He doesn't have to go just as wide.
Just not running at the line. He knows he needs to score here. Paul Forster has taken the opening set in the previous 2 finals between them. He's on course to do so again. Wants to come round with this, and it comes pulling in. Now he knows he left the target, and That's what Nicky Brett's going after, dropping just inside.
Oh, front edge on his own. That could have taken him away completely. Oh.
Well, he's been true to his word of being aggressive.
Well, that's what we talked about yesterday. What he was going to do and where he was going to shake things up.
If it draws, there's a potential shoulder.
Well, it's ball. That's why he's looking at this thinking, well, if I take it one out, Paul will just put it back. He's drawing to it. It's a sensible decision. Now at the business end now of the set, 2 ends to go. Close for this.
Yeah, it's on the shot.
That's a great goal. After a runner, that's a great goal to play.
One red.
Really thinking about the game.
And he's enjoying it too.
Nicky's I don't think I've ever seen Nicky without a smile on his face one way or another. He manages to see the positive in things.
Paul Forster getting this one to Hurry. He's calling it to Hurry. Yep. And he's thrown the shot.
Dropped off for the number 1 by the looks of it. Check it with Brian Daly.
1 green.
Who confirms it's 1 to green. Nicky's going to have to play slightly different this time. He's going to attack it. Has to. Now, it's all down to what result he gets.
He wants all of them, was the cry.
Oh dear, oh dear.
He's lost the set.
Oh, it's a horrible result.
2 shots in the first set to Paul Foster.
Well, it looked to me like he was bang on target. But it's happened a few times in this match where players have been on target and the balls have just broken badly for them.
Took his own out, went out to the side. And 2 to green, and the opening set, as it has done in 2012 and 2013, goes the way of the man from Troon, Paul Foster, leads by a set to 0.
Very lopsided scoreline. 10-5. The match has been considerably closer than that. Good effort by Nick. He saw that there was a chance to get all 3 green balls the way they were sitting. He got the edge of his own.
It was an opening set that had it all. Great drawing, weight shots, conversion shots, a few nudges and rubs that players benefited or had the misfortune to suffer. Last season, Paul Foster missed out on being the first man to win the Scottish International Open title 3 times. Real steely determination about him this week.
I think that ball got up a bit further than what Paul Foster was expecting.
That's on a good line. Will it come back just over the seam of the carpet? That's close.
Last ball's a shot.
Well played.
Certainly wasn't easy to get that one back. Oh, has he got enough to sneak in again? Off the edge. Needs to drop. Well, could be.
We tend to favour the straighter ball, but Brian Daly will tell us.
One green.
Oh, he's made it. Our rings confirm it, and Nick's got no choice but to arrive at this. A little bit of weight, try and get the ball out clean, or his own ball onto the jack. Now he's looking for a clean edge. Oh, it locked in on the other one. Oh, dear, oh dear. Well,
there's a quiet word. It's just the way things are running at the moment for the Englishman. Thought he got it, but just came all the way back.
A nudge on the other green one, and he could be even more unlucky as they're measuring for the second.
Yeah, the ball just fell back, didn't it? So we shall see.
Well, there's been 2 or 3 times now if Nicky's got really bad results from good-looking bowls.
And it's
2 shots to Paul Foster.
Well, say Paul had an unfortunate one as well, but at the moment Lady Luck is definitely against Nicky Brett. He's played the jack, and I think he's pushed this on about 2 or 3 meters too far.
Perhaps not quite as bad as he'd feared initially.
I don't think so. I think he thought it was going more than a 3/4 length.
There's a quick period of intercession on that occasion. So it's 24 metres.
I'm just beginning to think actually he maybe thought it wasn't up rather than too far, because I'm just checking where the short jack length is and couldn't see it properly from the commentary box, but we can.
Oh, he's come down beautifully again.
24 metres. Paul Foster will be all over it. You have to be able to match him at this length or beat him. Otherwise, you've no chance.
Well, he can do it. Nicked that one. Fell back. Cut it down to 1.
1 green. Front one.
Just making sure he was there.
9 inches past jack high.
And the target for Nick was actually the jack rather than the bowl, but at this length you really do need to get into the jack. I like something similar to your last. You'll not be too far away from the jack. Pull it back to your own red one. He's going to have to use his own bowl or else he'll get the gap. A lovely weight to trail it back.
1 green.
Foster, who started this tournament against Ronnie Duncan, got through on a tie break. Since then, Mark Royal, Mike McLean, the Australian qualifier, and Robert Paxton have all tried, but not been able to stop him.
The match with Ronnie Duncan was an excellent game, I have to say. It's one of the very best of the first round matches in terms of quality from both players.
Nicky Brett past Rob Ashton from New Zealand, qualifier who's enjoyed his week here in Perth. And one of the reasons he's played so well is he's been converting shots. Through it comes.
Oh, he's got the green ball. He's pushed the green ball all the way through, which was always the risk.
One shot to Paul Foster.
Well, he's been converting these shots well all week. They're just not quite falling for him. At the moment, Nicky Brett, Nick or Nicky, he doesn't mind either. What he does mind at the moment is the scoreline. He's 3 down.
Yeah, he was looking good there. You know, it's getting into things like that. You're hoping to get the target. He got the target of the jack, but pushed the green ball on the way through. And on another day, you come off at a different angle. You miss the green ball. You pick up a couple. Not at the moment.
Frustration will be shared, I'm sure, in the Brett household down in England. Wife Sam, daughters Lauren and Chloe watching on, along with Nicky's mum.
Bit longer this one. Paul making absolutely sure. Gives the jack an extra push.
Paul Foster, of course, plenty of support inside the Stewards Centre in Perth.
Well, again, it's been a fantastic year for Paul Foster. 2014 will certainly be a year to remember for him. He'll want to finish it off with a good win here.
Of course, Paul Foster, MBE, as he is now. Services to Bowles.
Yes, players. I think whenever they're
One close for 2.
win world titles on a regular basis, they certainly deserve to be recognised. Other people get honours for service to the bowls in a different way. It's overall contribution through a lifetime.
And here he comes again, just dropping short. Nicky Brett holds one. Still relatively open.
Well, Paul's looking at this plant to see what could happen.
He's going to call a timeout here.
Timeout call.
A normal situation for Paul would be just to draw this, but
Paul has 3 timeouts remaining. He's 2.
he's asking about the 2 back bowls, see what would happen. Why he's looking at to see who's in there is he's looking at this bowl, which would take the red out there, take the red out there, and lie 3 green. It's a pretty decent shot then, actually. Yep, he's going for it. It's all to do with getting the plant. Now, does he get it right? Looks good to me. There it goes. 2 balls out, lie 3.
Execution from Paul Foster. Nicky Brett has one to play.
2 green and a measure.
Well, the Foster family certainly enjoying that one.
That is Pamela. Just wonder if she's got all the kids with her. Logan, Ethan and Keegan. Pamela's always around the place for Paul. Comes a lot of the final weekends. And that means a lot of weekends in the case of Paul Foster.
Indeed it does. Here's Nicky Brett. Going to curl it in. Needs to fall back.
Well, he saved something, I think.
Well, he's certainly saved one. The other 3 from our angle are going to have to be strung. Yeah.
Wow.
That's close, isn't it?
Tell you what, that's going to be very close to shot. Very difficult for us to tell sometimes on the overhead, but it's a really good ball. This is going to be a good measure for shot, and it's very important to Nicky that he gets it. Lovely takeout from Paul, I have to say. Really nice takeout.
So the red ball will be measured first against the 2 green. Try and look over the shoulder of Dan Blewett.
Beats that one. That was very quick to go through. I just have an inkling that it might be the shot. Oh, 1 to green. Good recovery though.
Check again, but it is Paul Foster's shot.
Paul Foster.
A 4-0 lead in the second set. There's something very single-minded at the moment about Paul Foster. If there's one player capable of coming back, as he proved last year, it's Nicky Brett. He will never give in.
Well, Nick is tenacious, no doubt about that.
Yeah, when you marry that tenacity with his overall attitude, you know, he's quite relaxed, doesn't let things get to him. And these are good qualities, especially when you're up against this.
Well, it's back to usual jack length, 24 metres, and anything between 23 and 25. There's very few people can live with Paul Foster. Good reply. Excellent reply. Jack first time.
Just not reaching. If you weren't with us earlier on in the week, we're talking about Paul Foster's family there. He got a little poke in the eye from one of the boys, and the eye was a little bit sore.
Certainly looked it too. It was well bloodshot, but survived in that particular match.
It's something to mention in years to come.
Wide line for Nicky just to try and make sure he's coming in on the high side of the jack. It's looking good. Yep, that'll do for 2.
Two red.
Really needs to get hold of this jack. Get a change of length. And Paul's got better weight this time. Just needs to run a little bit more. Oh, the drop away. Oh, that hurt.
Now then a chance for a third to be drawn here. Same ball as his last. Again on that wide line. Plenty of space if this runs out. And it comes. Three.
Paul Foster knew that from 3 or 4 metres out. Big pickup for Nick. Right back in the set again.
So you see the map will come up. 4-3 to Paul Foster, second set. Paul Foster taking the first 10-5.
Not a dramatic change in length because up a couple of metres. He gone short of the tee. Very good start. Needs to hurry a little bit more. Jack high.
A little through on that occasion.
Nick's sticking on the forehand to try and cover those balls, but it's not going to be easy. He needs another one in, of course. Now, have you dropped enough weight just to bring you around past your own, Nick?
Too red.
It's a bit of a target for Paul Foster. Second ball. Might change his shot for the next delivery.
One red.
Well, now he's got that one in Paul Foster. He's got 2 balls waiting to receive. So he can't waste this one. Nicky Brett.
He's got the right idea. Try and miss the jack and get to the green ball. Just drifted away a little bit. It's in a good receiving position. Can't see Paul attacking this. The red ball could very easily go into his 2 green ones. Sensible play to stick into the draw.
Well, he might get off that, you know. He has.
Well, he was in the area, got a slight edge. A little bit of fortune, but when you're that close, a lot of players accept the fact that you're going to get the shot.
Well, his weight just enough to borrow. And just holding on to the front of the jack. Yep.
Yeah.
It's been that kind of day.
An inch thicker on the front one, and he would have dropped off because his weight was so good. But instead of being level, he's 2 behind. Tell you what, Nick Brett is having to scrap and fight for every single shot in this match.
Well, he dropped the opening set last year. 7-5 with 6-2 down. Looked buried and found a way back. Paul Foster saying in his interview today that he felt he took his eye off things, put his eye on the prize rather than the match. As he mentioned, Nicky Brett still had to come back and do it. That's precisely what he did. Great tie break. Here, he needs a set to take it to the tie break. And it's a good opener. Two experienced international players have only met on the World Bowls Tour singles in the final of the Scottish International Open.
That's really good.
You don't see too many of them.
It's interesting that he's still sticking to the backhand. He's got a strong enough bowl to come back if he's got good weight.
Nice 3.
That's good bowling. Very, very good stuff.
Three ref.
Nothing annoying Nick Brett on the backhand, even with a short bowl. Paul Foster, well, he'll play into this one. I would expect damage limitation. And that's you just never know what's going to happen here, because you can hear Nick Brett just saying, I'm a little pessimistic about what could happen here.
Yeah, he might be right. And he comes, Jack. Over it comes, it will go into the respot. So it's going to be 1 red. And I'll tell you what, Nicky Brett will draw for a second.
Oh, if he doesn't draw that, there'll be a wrong bias, because there's no way he can miss it otherwise.
So this is academic as it gets.
Two shots to Nicky Brett.
Yeah, didn't even bother waiting. And why should they? It was in all day long. So 5 apiece in the second set. 3 ends to play.
A good old scrap, isn't it?
It certainly is. Packed house in the Dewar Centre, enjoying this. Paul Foster, who won the last singles tournament for the World Bowls Tour, the International Open, the last person to win back-to-back ranking singles events was Paul Foster. Back in 07-08.
Matches like this are great. They really are, because you're getting a whole spectrum of what's available in bowls. Players playing great stuff.
Well, he wasn't sure about this one, Paul Foster, but in it comes. Around it goes. little back toucher.
Nick would have expected that. He's a little bit short with the first ball. I knew it was a mistake. Now he just has a big pull on the bias here. Needs to run. That's good. Good second.
Gap is 5 inches.
Draw around the front ball.
Well, as soon as he passes the front ball, he's got a chance. Just a little bit too much weight on, but it's given him a back ball position. Might tempt Paul just to try and get to that one.
He was glad he missed the green one, didn't want to shimmy that to the side.
I wouldn't think that that's a bag, did it? But you're perfect with that.
Oh, he's got a chance again, running this one out. In he comes.
Well, he didn't even attempt to cover the ball. He thought, I'll take a shot away from Nick.
2 green.
It was just lovely the way he tapped in front of that. Now, the normal shot here for Nick would be to plough into that front ball. Most of the times that he's played this shot, he's come out of it very badly.
He's trying again. He's getting the wider of the green balls.
Well, it could have been worse.
An unconventional cut down.
He'll probably drop a 2 here, but outdrawn to the jack with a couple of balls, so the recovery didn't work.
1 green.
Well, it's 1 green. But both players will fully expect it to be 2. Doesn't want to miss this chance. Oh, he has missed it.
One shot to Paul Foster.
That really surprised me. Surprised everybody else as well.
And this stage in the game could make all the difference. 7-5 with 2 to play. Knowing you only need a tie, it would have been different.
Absolutely. Nicky would have been chasing, trying to score 3 in the last 2 ends. Now he has to score 2. And that's certainly very doable.
Well, he finished the second set strongly last year. Nicky Brett, he has to do the same. And it's a great opening ball. Oh, he's chasing this. That's a shot.
It's better that he didn't touch the jack, actually. He came right around it.
1 green. It's an inch past jack high.
Oh, it's sort of tough on your opponent whenever he plays a really good ball and you bang one right behind the jack. It's just... So Nicky's out there scrapping for everything. hasn't really had the opportunity to cruise through and pick up a few ends.
Trying for this, just going to fall behind.
Certainly not easy to add another. Nick will have to attack this. Well,
not quite in the way.
One grade.
Nicky Brett does have the last bowl, so he might use this one to shake things up a bit.
Here he comes, playing with that little bit of weight, looking for a result. It's not always gone his way today. And he comes, picks up the jack and going to the ditch with it.
Well, that's pretty good. It's not going to be easy to beat that one. Just had to allow for the ball to bend a little bit.
Two big bowls of the match coming up here.
There's the double kiss on the jack. Well, it's certainly beatable, but...
So Paul Foster. First thing is to get in a decent second shot, preferably. Would like to beat it.
Yes, that's the target, really. Get a good second, and if you get the shot, that's a bonus, and he's pretty close. Not sure if he's going to make that for number one. Time it drops away, and then you take into consideration the drop into the ditch. Very hard to judge. Next one will be on a timeout for this one. Very important, though.
Timeout called.
Nicky has 3 timeouts remaining.
There's plenty of timeouts, but you know, it's far enough away that he'll feel he has to draw it. It's just very difficult to tell, that's all. If it was definitely a shot against him, he might have been tempted to run the ball off.
Well, he's looking to make this.
Yep. Lovely wide line. This is all to do with weight now. It's all to do with getting past Paul Foster's bowl, and he has, albeit only just. And now it's a tricky old measure, this one. Either way, it's going to be an incredible fight into the last end that Nick Brett has to actually win. So in many ways this measure makes no difference whatsoever.
Yeah, it's completely academic.
Yep. Okay.
It will be a winner takes all final end.
There's only one way to beat that, and that is if it's the two balls are touching and it's equidistant. Oh, that's
in
well
by a
in.
mile. Yep. It's 2 shots.
2 shots to Nicky Brett.
So it doesn't matter. Nicky Brett still needs to win the end. If Paul Foster gets one, he'll win the title. Good to see some of the Grampian Junior players in. And friends.
Oh yes, little furry friends by the looks of it. Well, it's a large furry friend. There it is.
Yeah, it's a rabbit, just a little bit shy.
Tell you what, if that's a rabbit, I wouldn't like to meet it in the dark night. Grueling big up here.
Depends what you feed them on. What a last end in prospect between Nicky Brett and Paul Foster. And the arithmetic is simple. Nicky Brett wins it. He takes this to a tie break. Paul Foster wins it. He takes the title.
Well, we knew it was going to be a good game. 5-6 after 6 ends in the first set. Paul took it with a couple of doubles. but it was close. 7-6 for Nicky with one end.
That looks light. It is.
Ooh, anything behind was good.
He doesn't feel he sent it. Doesn't want to get in the way either.
One red.
Key ball now. Nicky needs this one in. Turn of the jack would be a real bonus. Guess it's a bit loose. Oh dear. Well,
No.
certainly was not meant to be there.
You weren't intending to be back there, I take it.
Just hear the marker, Brand Daly, saying that you didn't intend to be back there. Nicky said, oh no. So he's in a bit of bother here. He wouldn't want to give Paul Foster this much room.
So Paul Foster, if he draws this, he's lying the championship. It's too heavy.
He is just a little bit. Well, I think Nicky should play this on the backhand, leave that forehand, just play it on the backhand. And the one thing he doesn't want to do is land beside the jack and offer a shoulder. Well, he's lying a set lie at the moment, and you know, it's just that danger of leaving something to help Paul Foster. Well, he's playing the forehand. This has to be very accurate. Well, he's covering the green balls on the forehand, actually, so that's fair enough. That was a shot I was thinking of on the backhand, the land in there. The trouble is, it's just maybe a little bit too close.
Two red.
Yeah, he can't bear to look.
Well, the problem is if Paul Foster lands on the ball.
Well, a timeout's coming, so we've got plenty of time to look at this.
Timeout call.
Well, I
Paul
think
has
what
two timeouts.
Nick was worried about was a ball just to land into there. But in reality, Paul, I think, will play with a little bit more weight to try and just move the jack. Anything in that area will be absolutely perfect and will lift the title.
Well, something that he's done plenty of times before. Find a winning ball.
It's all down to weight because the line's good. For his ball, the line is absolutely perfect.
Oh, he's liking it, he's watching it. The crowd are urging this to come in, but it's going to drop just that little bit short.
Yes, that's what I thought. It was all on weight. The line was absolutely spot on.
Second set to Nicky Brett. Nice tiebreak.
So as it was in 2013, it is in 2014. A tiebreak will decide the title between Nicky Brett and Paul Foster.
Paul's won the toss. It's given the jack to Nicky in the first end.
Bit of support here for Nicky Brett as well. So little between these two players, as you would expect. World number one, world number three. You know, it's well, these two players getting into the final as well. They've managed to stretch things through with their ranking points. Paul Foster scampering away even further from the pack.
It's been a good week too for Robert Paxton and for Andy Thompson as well, picking up points from their semi-final places. Here we go to a tie-break. 3 ends if required, single shot per end. 2 ends required to win.
Well, Nicky Brett will go into second place anyway on the provisionals for the next event, no matter what. But he can't catch Paul Foster, win or lose. It doesn't make any difference. Well, that is if he just wins. If he loses, it's Paul even further away. Good stuff. This is close.
Wants to take it or just take it with him and just nudge it a little bit further away. I'm fairly certain that those two balls will not end up on their own. More to come. Oh, that's good. Not a front toucher, not as good as.
I'll force Paul into playing somebody to attack this because I don't think there's any draw. A little touch on the ball would work, but it has to be very delicate with that. Better to force it. Oh, he's taking one definite. Will he get off on the angle? Nope. Kept his own two balls in though.
Tie break's all about the position. If you've got one ball in there, it's so hard to get out.
It's going to be hard to wing that ball out. It's possible on the backhand. The issue for Nick here is he'd really like to get a good second and cover the green balls at the same time, but deciding to go a little bit further. Well, deepest back. If it is possible to wing this off, Paul will go on the backhand. But he's leaving Nicky a lot of room to draw it. Well, he must be able to think he can get an edge. Looks just under. He's going to remove one of his own. That's going to go off the rink. He now holds the best back one, but Nick will have a look at the respot position as well.
One red.
Nick's had a real good look at this. He's just wondering, will the jack actually go through to there when Paul plays it? Or will it go all the way through? The way this game has been going, it's like he's a bounce off the back one. He's playing safe.
And off the backhand, all the way around.
Needs to stop though. I don't think he's covering the respot with this.
He's going to take best back ball.
Oh wow. He was so far away from the respot, you have to assume that he's going for the deepest back ball. He must think the jack's going to stay in the ditch.
Well, these are two goes and not managed. It's a really difficult shot from that distance.
He's gone big with this one.
Well, go big or go home. He's going big. Wow!
And there's Nicky Brett's ball. But it doesn't really matter because Paul's taking everything away anyway.
Everything's gone.
First down to Nicky Brett.
Well, that was hit with fury. But it didn't quite work in the end. And it's advantage England.
Yeah, great strike, I have to say. You could see he was going to go big with this one. Looking for the extreme edge. Got it solid. There's the red ball. Now that green ball you'll see being pushed through. I thought for a moment that was going to stay on. But it actually rolled off and into the ditch.
Well, the list of players to have beaten Paul Foster in a singles World Bowls Tour final is extremely short. Nicky Brett, Stuart Anderson. In the last few years, they meant to have done that.
He's a prolific winner when he gets to the final, there's no doubt about that. He's always the odds-on favourite.
I think he's won 8 of his last 10. He's so impressive. But here, Nicky Brett knows he's one fabulous ball away from retaining his title, something that nobody has ever done. Ends the Scottish International Open.
Paul Foster being forced into attacking with his second ball. Very, very close to getting it.
Got it.
Gets a toucher on the way through. never know when that's going to be useful. Well, key element here is if Nick can draw this shot, which he must do, is that he has the last ball. So if he can keep banging them in and stop Paul Foster from drawing, and that's just too far away. And he knows it. It's not close enough.
Yeah, Paul Foster will go to the draw here. This has to be close for the Scot.
Can't see him failing, to be honest with you, because he's so good at the drive draw shot. And there it is. Expectation was high and he delivered. Certainly beatable, but it's a very, very good one.
So at the moment, advantage Foster, 2 balls to play for the defending champion.
Just try and draw it. He knows if he can draw this shot, he's leaving Paul Foster 1 ball to save the championship. Oh, is he heavy again? He
Looks
is.
it, yeah.
That's a long way away. Expected him to be a lot closer than that. Well, Fuzzy, what do you do now? And pop another one in. Hope you don't leave a target. You'll certainly not feel comfortable with just the 1 ball in there.
It's engrossing stuff.
Oh, that's great.
Here he comes again. He's not pushed it.
Oh,
He has
he's
not
short.
pushed it.
He's short, and Nicky will be tempted with this because bowler Jack is good for him.
Well, he's got a shot to win the championship. I think the best ball way at the back is a red one.
Timeout called.
I just wonder who's on the re-spot on that side, because ball's
Nicky
got
has 3 timeouts
a
remaining.
deep green one, but it certainly looks good for a runner.
Here he comes, the little runner.
In the area. Has he got the gap or the edge? Got the edge! Oh, what a ball! What a great ball from Nicky Brett.
He's got the edge, he's got the title. The first man to successfully defend the Scottish International Open is Englishman Nicky Brett. What a performance. Dropped the first set, won the second, takes it on a tie break, and what a ball to win it. Wonderful takeout. And for the second consecutive year, Paul Foster falls at the final hurdle. It's Nick Brett who's taken it. What a result. And the defending champion defended it successfully.
Shots for Nick.
we expected a fantastic match, and that's exactly what happened. You've got 16 shots against 14 in favour of Paul Foster. You add in the extra 2 shots in the tie-break, and they were level. Touchers in favour of Nick Brett. Ends one just in front of Paul Foster, 10-9, including the tie-break. Jack Links, well, it didn't really matter. Both players were very, very close, but what a performance by Nick Brett. He scraped around and scratched around and played brilliant in the end to overcome the world number 1.
Yes, it truly was an amazing final. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, your finalists, what a performance from both players. Now, please welcome to present the award this year from the tournament sponsors, Cooperative Funeral Care, the National Community Manager, John Taylor, and Operations Director, David Collingwood. It's a repeat of last year, and I'm sure it's hugely disappointing for the man who played wonderful bowls here all week at the Jewers Centre in Perth. The runner-up 2014, Paul Foster. From the city of Ely Club in Cambridgeshire, still the Scottish International Open champion, Nicky Brett. Absolutely wonderful stuff from both the finalists today and Paul's sons, of course. They're true sportsmen, just like their dad. But Nicky, the first man ever to retain the title here in Scotland.
To say the least, I'm pretty much overwhelmed, to be fair. The last time I spoke to my father, I said, the next one's for you. So that's the one.
Well done.
Paul, we expect it to be a brilliant final, and you know, to have a brilliant final, you have to have 2 brilliant players. And my goodness, you played brilliantly once again.
Yeah, it's obviously it's disappointing you lose, but I've got to learn to close matches out. That's the disappointing thing. 4-0 up, lost a bad 3. Nicky a great 3. Go back to the same end again, lose a 2, and I made the biggest mistake of my life at the second last end. It was 6-5, and I just played to beat Nicky's second shot, and I should have been drawing the shot. If I draw the shot, I'm going 2 up in the last. And these are the things you learn. But just I want to say well done to Nicky. Great champion. It's very hard to come back and defend a title. He's done that. He's played fantastic balls all week. As I say, I'm disappointed, but you can't be too disappointed. It's a game of balls at the end of the day. But I just want to say, on behalf of myself and my family, Nicky, well done. You deserve it. Well done.
Nicky, you said to me earlier on this week, not everyone can win games like Paul Foster does, because he's the guy who kind of puts pressure on you. He did it to you last year. He did it to again this year. But you knew if you held in, you could hold on, you could beat him.
Yeah, no one in the world bullies people like Paul does. He just keeps in all the time, all the time. It's, you know, relentless, and you just have to keep hanging in. And luckily I've done it a couple of times, but you don't do it all the time, you know. One day I'm going to have to try and learn to win how he does.
Well, listen, let's just talk a wee bit about the first set in particular. I'm going to show your final bowl, and Nicky was lying, I think, and you had to put in a big one, and you certainly managed to do that to take the first set.
Yeah, it was. You've got to play big bowls at the right time, and yeah, I remember it well. I just came in and just the weight was so good. I just sat on the winner and fell down, and I actually ended up getting 2 to win the set. So, but a couple of ends in that set, Nicky hit his target and didn't get a 100% result. But that's the wee things going. Breaks, it goes for you.
And the wee breaks, perhaps at that point, Nicky, weren't going for you. You were forced into a wee bit of weight, and you were unlucky at the end of the set.
Yeah, probably the results weren't running my way first set, but that's what happens when you pull dominating head possession. If you're playing runners, very rarely do they come off. So, you know, disappointing, but I needed to get in the game earlier in the ends, really, just to give myself some sort of chance of nicking 1s and 2s. And if I needed a runner, it was more high percentage of coming off rather than hope and hitting hope.
Listen, Paul, I know the family are wanting to get away and spend some time with their dad, but let's talk a wee bit about end of the second set when you know, Nicky was really getting himself back into the match well. You had the chance, you were standing with the bowl, potentially with the winning bowl in your hand, but just outside.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm disappointed the last end of the final set. I had 4 goes, and to be honest, I was going to run my first bowl, but then I said if I can nail it, it's going to be hard to beat. To be given 4 chances and to fail, that's a disappointing side. But you've got to move on from that, and Nicky played 2 great tie-break ends, and obviously I just failed at the final hurdle.
And Nicky, you must have thought, well, I managed to get him to a tie-break last year, and I managed to get it off him. I had to do it again, and again, a big bowl at the end to take the title.
Yeah, you know, you're in the tie-break, and again, Paul dominated early stages, probably 3/4 of the game. When you get to a tie-break, it's almost one good bowl can win you the end, and as luck would have it, I played a couple of good ends, and here I am.
Here you are, the champion, absolutely. Now, one thing I've got to ask you, Nicky, do you think you'll ever get to a final and not have to play the world #1? Because it's kind of tough, isn't it? You've now played 3 times in a row here in Scotland. 12 months' time, are you going to be in the final again?
Yeah, ideally it's not easy playing the world #1 in every final. It would be handy playing somebody else, to be honest. Yeah, not saying everyone else can't play like he can, but not everyone else can play like he can.
Well, listen, gentlemen, it's been an absolutely fantastic final. Paul Foster, you've got a fantastic prize here. The 3 laddies with you, very proud of their dad. But Nicky Brett, you are the Cooperative Funeral Care Scottish International Open Champion 2004. You know, the home crowd here were wanting Paul Foster to win. There's no doubt about it, but Nicky Brett is such a lovely guy. He clearly loves playing here, winning the title here in Perth, a place he loves to win. His first ever title was 12 months ago. Now he becomes the first man to retain it. A very popular win indeed for the fella from Cambridgeshire. Now, this is the last tournament of 2014. It's the first tournament of the new season. My goodness, what a year it's been for bowls. Remember the Commonwealth Games? Simply sensational.
Our medal target getting into the Games was 2 medals, and you know, certainly I believed that we could achieve that, you know, without doubt, but you always have that doubt in the back of your mind, because bowls, like many other sports, you win and lose on margins. From the very outset, we tried to make Kelvin Grove almost like our second home, so that when the guys rocked up there, you know, they felt so relaxed, they felt so at ease. So we were there every single weekend. Sometimes we were there for a week at a time. And the guys became very familiar, very comfortable with it. And I think, you know, that played a huge part in the success.
Atmosphere at Kelvin Grove was really special. I'm sure every one of us will remember it probably for the rest of our lives. From day one right till the final day's play, the support we had was incredible, you know, and I think without that support, you know, I'm not sure we would have got the results we really got.
Paul and Alec together, you know, I think, to be honest, if I hadn't selected them together, I'd have been run out of the country. But, you know, that is one of the memories, is those 2 bowls that Alec played. That day on, you know, the final of the pairs competition, it was almost like it was written for Alex and Paul, because they're the most successful pairing ever in bowls history, and there they were a chance to get the 12th gold medal, which would have been a record for Scotland, and it was just set up for them. You know, the sun was shining, they were on an end rink on TV, you know, and they thrive on that, you know, so there was never any doubt.
Everybody knows we're the best of friends. He's a blessing to play with. He brings the best out in me, and I bring the best out in him.
I've not really played too much since the Commonwealth Games, but it was a fantastic journey for myself and the Scottish team.
Without doubt, that is the best fours I've ever seen. That fours kind of almost came out by chance, because we went to a training camp in America, and the fours was kind of put together as an experiment, and they won the American Open. And from that moment on, that seed was planted in your head, you know, like, look, that is an amazing four.
We couldn't wait to get on the green as a four, because we were the best of friends and we got on so well together. And we just clicked right from the word go. We certainly deserved to be in the final. And the final against England, the first few innings were a bit tricky. And once again, we just moved up a gear and deserved our victory.
So the Friday, the gents fours team got gold medal, you know, in the afternoon, and I came in 2 hours after the final, and lucky enough was able to come out on top in that against Ryan Bester from Canada.
Night in summer, long ago, stars were falling from the sky, and still my heart, I have to know, why do you love me, baby, why?
The pressure that went on Darren Burnett was incredible. So Darren sat all day and watched all the men get a gold medal, and then he's got to go out there and perform. And you know, I just total admiration for the guy. He went out in front of a home crowd and, you know, destroyed the Canadian, and just incredible.
We were told before the games, if we did get a medal, particularly gold medal, it would probably change our lives, and you don't really want to think about that too much, really. But I'd have to agree that now that it's happened, it definitely has changed lives.
It's great for our sport. The recognition we got up in Glasgow was phenomenal, and just hopefully it can kick on from there and hopefully improve the sport.
For me, Glasgow could never be beaten ever again. Those 2 weeks were the highlight of my sporting career, and yeah, I've taken away so many happy memories from that.
Yes, high emotion from David Gourley there, reminiscing about the great summer of sport for Scotland. High emotion here at the Dewar Centre as well, as Nicky Brett became the first man to win the Scottish International Open title for the second time in a row. What a fantastic final it was against Paul Foster. Also this morning, though, there was another final. It was the Scottish Indoor Bowlers Association Champion of Champions. It was Andrew Barker against Martin Macaulay. Well, Barker won the first set 11-7. Will join the match in the second end of the second set. Macaulay is 3-0 ahead.